Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the April 7th edition of Carolina Week.
Hogan Medlin is now officially our student body president.
I'm Carly Stevenson. The university will be expanding the Bingham Research Facility, and neighbors are worried about pollution and noise.
In sports, the softball team is playing right now. We'll update that score and check in with the football team only days before the spring game.
Weathercaster Morgan Brooks will tell us if we'll see relief from the yellow haze that's blanketed the area.
All that and a southern food tradition that's not just chopped liver.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
University police are investigating a body found dead this morning in Odom Village on South Campus. Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Lamb.
And I'm Chris Neal. Thanks for joining us. Campus police haven't yet released the person's identity, but Carolina Week sources tell us that it was indeed a student and that police do not suspect foul play. Campus police set up a mobile command center on site, and officials removed the body from building 701 at the corner of Hibbert Drive and Mason Farm Road at about 2:45 this afternoon. You can see here this van that was used to take the body to the medical examiner's office. And by noon, DPS had sent out a notice on the Alert Carolina website. Spokesperson Randy Young says the DPS didn't send out a text because there was no reason to believe there was an ongoing threat. We'll be following this story and we'll bring you new details as we get them.
Now on to other news. Hogan Medlin is officially UNC's new student body president.
That I will preserve, protect, and defend the general welfare of the student body of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Our Andrea Blanford was there for the inauguration and joins us now live in the studio. Andrea, I bet the ceremony was rather musical, right?
It certainly was, Elizabeth, but you might expect that from a student body president who's a longtime member of the a cappella group, the Cliffhangers.
He's sung the song countless times, but at his inauguration Tuesday night, Hogan Medlin belted Carolina in My Mind for the first time as UNC's new student body president. The 2010-2011 student government inauguration welcomed upcoming officers and members of the 92nd Student Congress.
It's sort of past the phase of excitement and now into the let's be action-oriented, let's get something done.
Former student body president Jasmine Jones bubbled with excitement as she said her goodbyes and passed the torch to her successor.
Out with the old and in with the new.
Medlin says he's learned a lot from Jones in the past few weeks.
Just learned a lot about what the personal side of the job requires. And I think that is what I'm most prepared for.
Advisor to the executive branch, John Curtis, will work directly with Medlin in the coming year.
But I'm very excited by it because what you get every year is you get a different mixture of people, personalities, what they want to do, what they want to accomplish, the energy level they bring to it.
Curtis says Medlin lives a well-balanced life and should have no problem keeping up with the strict demands that come with leading Carolina's student body. Medlin announced he's stepping down from his role as a UNC Cliffhanger to make sure he keeps the students his main priority. He says it's a nostalgic end to an era.
But I've already decided, no worries, music will still be a part of next year. We're going to have mandatory karaoke nights in the student government suite, not worried about that.
So swaying arm in arm with his fellow Tar Heels, the new student body president celebrated a new year and sang one more old familiar tune.
Medlin says he'll follow Jones's model of team building within the executive branch. Jones used to call it her Fabulous Five, and Medlin believes this family dynamic will be a critical part to accomplishing any projects they pursue next year.
So Andrea, can students still get involved with next year's administration?
Absolutely, Elizabeth. Student government is still encouraging anyone interested in becoming a member of the cabinet to apply. Just go to our website at carolinaweek.org for the link. The deadline is tomorrow night at 5.
That's Andrea Blanford live in the studio. Thanks, Andrea.
She's no longer the student body president, but Jasmine Jones has set the bar high for Hogan Medlin and his administration. Jones won the election last February on a platform to increase accountability and transparency in student government. Since then, she's worked on strengthening relationships between student government and the town of Chapel Hill. Jones is ready to pass the torch and says Hogan Medlin is a great communicator and will mesh well with the student body.
I think that he definitely has a personable touch to him, and that really relates to an everyday Carolina student. We're not really politician-y lover type people, so they really just like straightforward, you know, you're just like me. So I think he definitely gives off that persona.
Former SVP Jones succeeded in bringing local vendors to the pit with her Carolina Market campaign and also successfully created a public relations team for student government. She still leaves a few projects that are still in the works. Medlin says he plans on placing one-card machines in dorms one at a time, and will work this semester to develop a student government e-newsletter for all students that he hopes to have in place by August.
One of UNC's most notable journalists will soon add Hall of Famer to his credentials. Anchor at ABC 11 TV in Durham, Larry Stogner is one of 4 inductees for the 2010 North Carolina Hall of Fame in Journalism and PR. The award honors native North Carolinians who've made outstanding, long-lasting contributions to their fields. Stogner has served the Triangle community for more than 38 years and has earned multiple Emmy nominations. He most recently traveled to Haiti following the January earthquake. The induction is April 11th at the Carolina Inn.
Starting next fall, it might be easier for you to find a place to eat lunch with your friends. A $5 million project in Lenoir Dining Hall will add 200 extra seats to the second floor of the popular eating spot and includes a revamp of the food court and the addition of a fast food restaurant in the student union. On any given weekday, Lenoir serves up to 7,000 meals to students. Director of Auxiliary Services Mike Freeman says the ultimate goal of the project is to improve the overall dining capacity.
Do you always remember to look both ways when you cross the street? At 4 crosswalks around campus today, university police and student volunteers worked to reinforce some of those basic pedestrian safety tips. Campus police and volunteers did that by handing out t-shirts and other prizes for those who practice safety while crossing the road. Yield to Heels is a day which takes place every semester, and it's designed to create more attentive community of pedestrians, bike riders, and drivers. One of Orange County's emphasis on safety might result in more bikes on the road in Carborough. The town trumped the DOT last week, and at this intersection, you'll soon see an area that will better accommodate cars and bike riders alike, with an added roundabout here, right outside the entrance for Carborough High School. New bike lanes and sidewalks will line Smith Level Road, replacing these tracks in the grass you see right here. Biker Kevin Tice travels on Smith Level Road every day, and he says biking in that area can be dangerous.
Safety comes first, but you just kind of ride your bike and hope that the cars see you. I mean, that's the best we can do, really, is stay visual.
Although bike lanes will be expanding, the roads will stay 2 lanes wide.
Neighbors have been upset for months about wastewater treatment problems at the Bingham Research Facility in Orange County. Carly Stevenson has been following the story and joins us now in our satellite studio. Carly, what's the latest?
Residents are very worried about expansion at the site, and it looks like that's going to happen. Tuesday, the university received $14.5 million in stimulus money to increase research at the facility.
Officials will use the stimulus funding and UNC funding to build new buildings that will house 100 more dogs and 125 more swine. With more dogs and an expanded wastewater system, neighbors are worried about noise pollution and water pollution. Preserve Rural Orange chairperson Tom Schopler says residents are also worried about their well water.
Like the drought we just experienced, where some wells ran dry as a result of the lowering of the water table just from the drought, the impact that the university's draw would have on neighbors' wells was another major concern.
UNC Assistant Vice Chancellor Dwayne Pinkney says McKim & Creed, the consulting firm hired by UNC, will consider the effect of UNC well water use.
Absolutely. That is one of the items that is in the scope of work for the consultants to look at, not only the capacity of the university's well, but also the impact of the university's operation on the surrounding water.
In addition to the stimulus money, UNC will use other funds to build 2 spray fields and a veterinary lab. Schopler hopes the university will be upfront about issues concerning the Bingham facility.
But I mean, our ultimate goal would be to have a way of communicating with the university about issues and providing input on the front end instead of always having to watch over the university's shoulder, see what the university is doing, and then say, hey, wait a minute, what about this and what about that?
Construction at the Bingham facility will begin this summer, and construction should be complete by 2013.
Okay, Carly, tell us, what do the members of PRO think of the university's communication efforts so far?
Chris, they say it has improved, but Pro filed a Freedom of Information Act request for a number of documents last June. The board members say the university told them it will cost up to $5,000 to copy everything.
Okay, that's Carly Stevenson reporting in our satellite studio. Thanks, Carly. If you're a senior, getting that dream job isn't the only thing on your mind. For some, there's a burden of a mile-high stack of loans.
And new legislation could add more headaches. Coming up, a look at how this new policy affects your student loan load.
Hey guys, this is my teenage friend Fred.
Rad! Hey pal, you want to pay attention to the road?
Relax, man, I got it.
Look, my man, if your bad driving gets me killed, you better hope you die too, or I will haunt you silly. And I'm not just gonna float over your bed like, woo! I'm gonna be making a more annoying noise, like, ah! And instead of wearing those long white robes, I think I'll wear something more form-fitting and upsetting. The other ghosts will look and be like, wow, we've never seen that before.
Let's go, man. Hello, ladies.
Can you imagine your life without animals? Here at the Durham Animal Shelter, we can't. So come see us. Your new best friend is already expecting you.
Let's give it a shot. You can do it this time. I gotta get a real dog.
The new health care package includes an overhaul of the student loan process. Reporter Julia LaRoche tells us how this will affect the money in your pockets and the amount of paperwork you'll have to worry about.
Junior Garrett Haywood finds it difficult to enjoy a spring day on the quad with a cloud of student loan debt looming over his head. To add to that, he's not happy about the recent student loan legislation.
It's frustrating. It's the fact that I've already got two separate bills coming in for my private loan and then for the federal loan being the Stafford. And when I do another one next year if I have to, that's going to be a third and possibly a fourth different bill coming in or paper to have to keep up with.
The new legislation cuts private banks out of the student loan market. Loan money will now come directly from the Treasury and the U.S. Department of Education. This means students will have to take out their loans through their college's financial aid office instead of using private banks. One major change North Carolina students can expect to see is the end of the College Foundation of North Carolina, which predates federal student loan programs. Director of Scholarships and Student Aid Shirley Ort says it might be best to take a closer look at a one-size-fits-all approach.
I think it's a good public policy. When you look at the whole nation, I just don't think it feels very good or is very good for the state of North Carolina.
Haywood is uncertain about the future of the student loan process, but he's certain he will miss CFNC's help.
When you had someone like CFNC, they helped you keep up with that, and they actually helped you manage your loans and deal with the payments and the billing and things like that.
And that's helped him keep his focus on academics. In Chapel Hill, I'm Julia LaRoche, Carolina Week.
About a quarter of UNC students take out student loans, so the changes will affect some, but not everyone.
In a race to donate clothing to a local shelter in Chapel Hill, one student winner gets to spend the day with the chancellor. The second Chancellor's Chase on Tuesday gave one lucky winner a chance to spend the day with Chancellor Holden Thorpe. The Order of the Bell Tower sponsored the event, which collected clothing for the Interfaith Council. Contestants put on layers of the donated clothing and then raced across the quad while taking it all off again. The first person to remove their extra clothing and cross the finish line took the prize.
It's always great when a hometown hero returns to the area. Ours was back Tuesday, and it wasn't for a concert. Anoop Desai spent his Tuesday evening bartending at one of his favorite restaurants in Durham, Revolution, all for a great cause. The restaurant donated 20% of its earnings to the Eve Carson Scholarship Fund. The Idol finalists learned how to mix drinks, mingled with customers, and even signed a few autographs. He says Eve was one of his main motivations for auditioning for American Idol, and he was more than happy to make the trip home to support her cause.
She's just a good person, and that's all around, and it's just rare. So, whatever I can do to represent her in Carolina to the fullest, I will do.
And some good news for Anoop Desai. He has his first CD coming out next month. To find out how to get one, check out our website at carolinaweek.org.
It's springtime in Chapel Hill. That means blossoming trees, blooming flowers, and for some, lots of tissues. A yellow haze has taken over the town, marking the beginning of allergy season. The dry weather we're having makes it easy for tree pollen to travel through the air and settle on hoods, windshields, and walkways. Allergists say pollen is thickest in the early morning and evening, and it's supposed to get windy later this week, so make sure to grab your tissues and allergy medicine before stepping outside. You know, Chris, I'm sure the pollen has been affecting so many of us.
I know it sure has me. I'm waiting for a little bit of rain to kind of clear it out, and weathercaster Morgan Brooks is going to tell us if we can expect some of that. Morgan?
That pollen has been awful. I'll tell you when you can expect some relief and when thunderstorms are on their way after this break.
Welcome home, man.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Morgan Brooks with your 5-day forecast. During the past week, we've seen pollen paint the town yellow. Fortunately, rain and thunderstorms are on their way to wash that yellow off of your car. And after the thunderstorms, we can expect cooler, more seasonable temperatures. Let's take a closer look at that pollen. The pollen on your car is actually tree pollen, mainly from pine and oak trees. And usually it peaks around late April, but there is some relief in sight. Pollen is ranked on a scale from 0 to 12, 12 being the most highly concentrated. Today we saw an 11 on that scale. Tomorrow, don't forget to take your allergy pill. We're going to see an 11.7. But after those showers pass through, we're going to go down to a 7.2, so you'll get some allergy relief. Looking at what's going on the U.S. satellite right now, there's clear skies all up and down the eastern seaboard. But I'll show you what's in store for us on the surface map. Again, nothing much going on over here over top of us, but there's this low pressure over Missouri and Illinois that's headed our way with this cold front and rain showers that will be arriving around Thursday afternoon to Thursday night. But it will be clear by Saturday for you. If you're heading to the beach, it'll be a great weekend to go out and get a tan. In Wilmington, you can expect a high around 67, Myrtle Beach 69. It'll be partly sunny to mostly sunny. It's a great weekend for a hike too. In Roanoke, the high will be 65, and in around 59 in Boone, with mostly sunny and sunny skies. Tomorrow's travel, be careful if you're flying to Atlanta. Make sure you check your flight status before heading out, as there's an 80% chance of thunderstorms. And in DC, we have a 60% chance, but that's not until around 5 p.m. So if your flight's before then, you don't have to worry too much. If you're headed to Chicago, wear something warm or pack something warm, because the high is only 46 tomorrow. It's not even going to get that cold tonight in the Triangle. We have a low of 63, and it's going to be partly cloudy. Those clouds trap heat into the lower atmosphere so that our temperatures don't drop so much at nighttime. The winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we'll have a gust up to 30 miles per hour with mostly cloudy skies and a high around 82. Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. Thursday night, we're going to have a 90% chance of rain with a high around 82. And it's going to continue into Friday, and then skies will clear out Friday afternoon. Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be a great weekend to get out of that grill or go for a walk in the park. Hopefully that pollen will be gone by then.
Thanks, Warren. That all looks great. It looks like things are really shaping up for this weekend in Chapel Hill.
They are.
All right, thanks, Morgan.
Thank you.
If you're thinking of adding a feline friend to your family, we know just the tabby for you. There she is. Take a look at Molly. She's an adult domestic short-haired cat, and Molly is affectionate and has great manners and would love to be your lap cat. She's spayed, declawed, and ready to take home today. This laid-back kitty likes to play with people, and she's good with other cats too. Molly wants to be your whiskered companion, and she's too sweet to resist. To adopt Molly, go to our website, carolinaweek.org, for a link to the animal shelter. And guys, you know, it's time for sports, and unfortunately there's a school down the road that celebrated a national championship or something like that.
Right.
But we still got some good sports to talk about here in Chapel Hill.
We do. Sportscaster Justin Page is here with some updates.
No, that's right. We have the women's tennis team and softball teams both in action right as we speak. We'll have updates on both of those events, but coming up after the break, we'll introduce you to one Tar Heel who's overcome all odds.
So, do you have any questions?
What is your soup of the day?
We have a mulligatawny soup.
Oh, do you have any specials?
We have a steak special today.
Oh, how's that cooked?
That's pan-seared and then...
Does it come with a side dish? Is it grilled? Can I have it steamed? So what do you recommend? What kind of pie do you have?
You're an actor.
Aren't you from Ohio?
Any questions?
Ask questions. For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours? 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice? 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome to sports. I'm Justin Page. The spring football game is only 3 days away, and Coach Butch Davis's team will scrimmage in front of a national audience. Reporter Nick King was at practice today and joins us now live in the studio. Nick, how's the scrimmage going to work on Saturday?
Well, Justin, the coaching staff went ahead and divided the team into 2 groups. They tried to make it as even as possible while isolating certain matchups like starting wide receivers against starting D-backs.
Okay. Now, Nick, this is the first time the game will be nationally televised. How's that going to work?
Right. It's going to be on ESPN, and they've allocated 2 hours for the game. Now, Butch Davis at this point hasn't been told how the timeouts will work, but he does expect for each team to get around 55 to 65 plays on offense.
All righty. This is only a scrimmage, so how fired up are the players?
Well, Justin, according to Coach Davis, there's already been a lot of good-natured trash talking, and they just announced the rosters yesterday. Plus, the losing team has to serve the winners a meal on Monday and then clean up the cafeteria afterwards.
Talk about some incentive. Those are some high stakes. Thanks a lot, Nick. So by now, we all know Duke won the national championship in men's hoops, but no one on this campus is bitter about that.
I hate Duke a lot. They're pretty terrible. They just suck. Definitely hate Duke more now that they won. Like, we have to just rub them in the mud next year.
I got to keep it PG rated, so it really chaps my bottom. I mean, it was pretty cool. I think for the rivalry's sake, it was definitely, you know, it's helping it out because Carolina wins one year, Duke wins the other. It's like the universe balancing itself out.
So even though it's a big rivalry, I guess it was still nice that it's still North Carolina, that they are a school that's right up the street.
Now all of us are looking forward to next year when we can reclaim our rightful place on top. We all know that life can throw us a curveball every once in a while, and reporter Emily Hawks tells us how one Tar Heel bullpen catcher, Chase Jones, not only caught that curveball, but threw it right back.
And now, here comes Carolina.
As the bullpen catcher for the Diamond Tar Heels, number 41 Chase Jones expects to have some difficult pitches thrown his way. But one he didn't expect came at him in a different way when he was diagnosed with brain cancer his freshman year at UNC.
When I first found out, it was a matter of figuring out what was wrong with me. And in that sense, I was ecstatic that I knew something was wrong and I could identify it and put a name on it and knew what it took to beat it.
Jones said that his faith and his family were important in helping him through the long recovery process and keeping his spirits up.
They never let me look at statistics, and they never gave me an option other than this is what you're going to do today and this is what you're going to do to get better.
And getting healthy was something Jones knew he could do. It took some time, but 6 months after the surgery, Jones was cancer-free and looking forward to getting back behind home plate.
Chase says his favorite part about being a bullpen catcher is wearing the uniform, including the mask.
But Jones doesn't just look forward to putting on the uniform every day. He looks forward to being out on the field with his teammates. When asked how he got through such a difficult year of his life, he is quick to point to the rest of the team. What Jones doesn't realize is that he's made an even greater impact on his teammates.
You know, you just look at them every single day and you're just thankful for everything that you have. You look at that test that you've got coming up this week and it's really no obstacle compared to what he's gone through.
Since his diagnosis, Jones has made sure to live his life day by day, and he enjoys it the most as a student at Carolina.
If you walk around and you hear the bell tower and you hear the campus and all those little things combined, they're wrapped around, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
And we wouldn't want him anywhere else either. In Chapel Hill, I'm Emily Hawks, Carolina Week.
Jones and the rest of the team will be shaving their heads to raise money for the new cancer wing of UNC Hospitals following the April 11th game against NC State. The women's tennis team is in Durham right now as we speak in a crucial Carlisle Cup match. Here's a look at some double action. That's Haley Him and Jocelyn Friend. They would lose their first match, and the Tar Heels would also lose in doubles. But we'll see if the ladies can come back. Singles play is currently underway. And looking at the Carlisle Cup standings right now, the Heels are on top of the Blue Devils in the competition by a score of 11 to 7.5, with Duke taking 2 of the last 3 events. But there are still 5 events left in the season. And to update you about that softball game over at Anderson Stadium right now, bottom of the 6th, the Winthrop Eagles tied up with the Heels right now, scoreless. Heels have one last chance to put some runs on the board, and hopefully the ladies can pull it out. So we wish them the best of luck.
We certainly hope so. We got to get a run on that board so we can get this win.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks.
Most of us are familiar with North Carolina's signature Eastern and Western styles of barbecue.
But that's not the only food North Carolina is known for. Coming up, a look at the unusual Southern food that promises to deliver.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week and Carolina Connection online at carolinaweek.org.
These things we count on every day started as ideas. Ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Well, we all know North Carolina is famous for its Down East barbecue.
And as Bethany Tuggle tells us, for its Out West liver mush. Liver mush? Take a look.
What do you get when you combine various pig parts into a patty? Liver mush, of course. This Southern-style delicacy is made of pork liver, pork jowl, and cornmeal. Jerry Hunter owns Hunter's Liver Mush of Marion, North Carolina, and knows how to serve it up right.
It's delicious when fried, golden brown, with 2 eggs over easy, and gravy poured over top of it. That's a cholesterol dynamite, but it's still delicious.
This 2-room building houses the Hunter's Liver Mush business, which has been in the family for 55 years. Each week, the Hunters cook approximately 18,000 pounds of liver mush in these pots, package it, and store it until sold. And because they don't put chemicals in the product, the turnaround has to be quick.
We attempt to produce the product and have it consumed within 12 days. That's where we're keeping it nice and fresh, and everybody's bragging on how good Hunter's Liver Mush is.
So how is it once you've sliced into a fresh piece of liver mush, fried it up, and you're ready to dig in? I guess you'll never know till you try it, so here goes. I think it must be an acquired taste. Randy Parker grew up eating liver mush and says the key is to not think about what's in it.
Somebody told me if you thought about what was in it, you probably wouldn't eat it.
Parker's son David says he's not bothered by the ingredients.
In my opinion, if it tastes good, then might as well eat it.
There must be something that keeps them going back for more. I guess it's all in the power of the pig. In Marion, North Carolina, I'm Bethany Tuggle, Carolina Week.
All right, well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time. Have a good night.